What would a special grade cursed speech user look like? Shout out to Reed for the support, and let's talk about it. So, how would a special grade cursed speech user differ from somebody like Inumaki? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about what cursed speech is. You are infusing your words with cursed energy to basically make them commands that people have to follow. We see Inumaki use this and even Yuta Kotsu a few different times during the series, right? Primarily to get people to stop moving, or in the case of weaker opponents, straight up explode in some cases. So, what's the difference there? What's the metric? And it primarily has to do with the strength of the cursed energy user versus the strength of the thing they're trying to command. You need to be more powerful than that thing in order to give it the more devious commands, if we can call it that. Which is why Inumaki can't just walk up to Sukuna and say, explode, because that would feed back onto him because Sukuna is so much stronger than him. And even if you just use weaker commands, if they're against a stronger opponent, they are still going to feed back and cause you damage, like we saw with Inumaki against Hanami when he was commanding him to stop. That was tearing up his throat, and Inumaki doesn't have RCT, so there really is no recourse for him against a stronger opponent. But if we're talking about a special grade curse speech user, then they're going to have a field day because they're going to be largely stronger than everyone else and going to be able to freely command them. On top of that, a special grade curse speech user probably has RCT, so they're going to be able to mitigate the feedback that they do receive. However, it's not going to be as simple as that person just walking around telling everyone to explode and getting away with it, because we know that you can defend against cursed speech by placing cursed energy between your ear and your brain, basically protecting you from those sounds. But personally, I don't think just blocking your ear with cursed energy would make you immune to cursed speech under all circumstances. I would imagine that there's a give and take with it, like other sorcery that we've seen in the series. For example, the interaction between domain amplification and curse techniques. In this example here, we have Jogo and Hanami using domain amp to get past Gojo's limitless, because we know domain amp will kind of absorb a curse technique it comes into contact with, so they should be able to get through the limitless, the same way that blocking your ears with cursed energy should protect you from cursed speech, right? But as Gojo showed us, he kept amping up his limitless strength, if we can call it that, making it so the domain amp couldn't get through it unless they amped their strength. So ultimately, Gojo still couldn't get hit by them with domain amp because he was too much stronger than them. We also kind of see this interaction when he explodes Hanami with his blue. So the point I'm getting at is, let's again say Sukuna had his cursed speech. He might be able to simply overpower you with his cursed words and bypass the cursed energy block you had on your ears anyway. But again, I can't say that with any certainty because we're told multiple times that cursed speech is easy to counter, but just devil's advocate, we haven't seen anybody like Sukuna with it, so who knows? But let's just assume blocking your ears does 100% protect you. Great, now you have to worry about that 24/7 during your fight. And that's even assuming you know you're going to be fighting a cursed speech user, right? Like they say here, if you're unsure it's coming, you're going to be in a constant state of unease, and protecting your head is already difficult enough as it is. At the end of the day, a special grade cursed speech user is absolutely terrifying. There's a reason that Inumaki was the only second year allowed to go out on missions by himself. And there's also a reason that his clan was hunted down because of this ability, and they kind of have to live in the shadows. So yeah, like it would be ridiculous. And that's not even to mention Sukuna with cursed speech, because one, he's stronger than everybody else, right? So he will be able to freely command. But even if the blocking your ears thing would work against him, he's then got cleave and dismantle to tear you up anyway. So yeah, this would be terrifying.